of Flosstube. It's Valerie at Stitching in the Barn, and it's October 1st. I can't believe it's October 1st, but it is. Here we are. I don't know what happened to September. It flew by, but I was talking to somebody the other day and I was saying, I am always a little sad to see the last season go, but I'm always kind of invigorated and excited when I see a new season coming, because I think about all the, wondrous things of each season and get excited for those things. And I love autumn. I really do love fall. And we just got back from our trip to Ohio, and that was really fun. Last year, I know I had a cousin come visit in October. It was October 10th, and she thought she was going to see fantastic fall foliage, and she didn't see anything. And yet this time, driving from Ohio back to Pennsylvania, I could see the leaves were already starting to change. So it's like, oh, it's already happening. The weather today and tomorrow is crazy hot, and after that I think it's supposed to drop about 20 degrees. We're going to go from a high 80s to like the high 60s, low 70s for the next 10 days or something. So go figure. I don't know what, some years they say, oh, there's not enough rain to get pretty colors, and some years they say there's too much rain or it's too dry and they drop off, or whatever. It just looked like it was going to be very pretty this year. So this is actually a channel about cross stitching. So if you are not interested in that, fairly well, I am just a little life update. I'm still wearing the boot. I see the doctor on Friday and hopefully can get rid of it. It's becoming annoying. I have tried taking it off here and there, and have done pretty well when I'm not wearing it, but every once in a while I get sore again, so I'm thinking, I hope I don't have to have it any longer. This seems like it's going on and on and on, so I am ready to be done with that, and hopefully this Friday I'll get good news. Thank you to everybody who's been commenting and subscribing, and I have learned really cute stories about Halloween costumes that you remembered wearing, that your parents made, or you made for your children, and I of course love hearing about your favorite Halloween candy, so that's been really fun. I did film myself picking a winner with the random comment generator for the Cross Stitch Ornament Magazine 2018 Halloween edition, and I will insert that here and you can see the winner. Okay, here's my video from last week, and I am going to copy the URL, stop that, and pop it into the random comment generator, which is what I do every week, but I don't usually show it. This time I will show it for fun. There it is. Get out of the way, sandwich ad. Go away. Won't let me get rid of it. Well, I have 124 comments. So now, there we go. I can come over here and go doink. Do. Let's see, Julie Vanderhyde. Her favorite Halloween candy is candy corn. Woohoo! Okay, Julie Vanderhyde, you win the magazine. I'm very happy to send it to you, so just send me your address and I will pop that in the mail. Thanks so much. Julie Vanderhyde, congratulations, and get in touch with me. I will list my email address below, or you can instant message me on Instagram or whatever. You can write to me, however you want to get in touch with me. If I can find your comment, I'll leave a comment on your comment, but otherwise, I hope you're watching, and if you could get in touch with me before my next video, which hopefully be sooner than 2 or 3 weeks, I'm hoping to be more regular. I'd be happy to pop that in the mail to you, and I hope you find some good things and maybe even get them stitched in time for Halloween. So congratulations. I received some stitchy kindness this week. Naughty me, I was complaining about having lost my pattern for the Locks and Keys SAL that I was supposed to be helping Barb and Leanne of Lost and Floss organize or run. I mean, it was really their thing, but I was doing it with them a little bit. And 2 acts of stitchy kindness. one was Leanne, who had already finished stitching her pattern, and so she sent it to me and said, "Here you go, I've done mine already, haha," which was very sweet of her. And the other one was Narrowgate is the name she goes by on the internet, but she was the winner of the pattern. So I had mailed her the pattern when she won, and she actually sent it back to me. It's just a little embarrassing, but very sweet of her. I thought that was so kind. And I hope I have it here because I wanted to show you. Not only did she send me the pattern. Oh, where did I put it? Hold on. Not only did she send me my Locks and Keys pattern back, but she also included another pattern, a Blackburn pattern, which I don't think I brought with me to show you, but if I can pause the video and go get it, I'll show it to you, which is so kind. It's a pattern I'd never seen before, and I love it, and I'm just thrilled to have it, and thank you so much. I have been busy. I have a couple finishes to show you. The first finish is my Brenda Gervais Holiday Inn. You see it? And I did that on Picture This Plus Brash 32 count. And I should have ironed it for you. Maybe I did a while ago. Here it is. So I'm very pleased with that. It does have a sort of monochromatic, excuse my voice, my allergies are horrible, monochromatic feel to it, but I really like it. It's kind of old and crusty and witchy and Halloweeny, and I'm pleased with that. I did make some changes. For the witch's dress, I used Cast Iron Skillet by Gast. For the cat, I used Black Coffee by Classic Colorworks, and for the cauldron, I used Onyx by Gast. Just because mine were not showing up enough, and I did some other little things, like I did a little back stitching around the cauldron, you can see. I did a tiny bit of back stitching on the sprigs that the witches are holding, just because, yes, I liked monochromatic, but I wanted you to be able to see it. And then the roof, I didn't like the way it was looking. It was looking very silvery and not roofy enough. So I did some over 4 cross stitches on top of my other stitches to make it look more like a thatched roof. I didn't do it on the, yes I did. I did it on the side as well. I don't know if you can tell. I thought about doing long cross stitch, which might have worked, where you do a narrower part at the top and then wider at the bottom. But I just did them as I felt like doing them there. So I'm very pleased with that. This took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Here I was looking at it thinking, oh, it's a hollow house. You don't have all the bricks to fill in or anything. For some reason, this took me a very long time. But I'm very pleased to have it done. And here it is October, so that's good. Second finish is, do I have a pattern here to show you? I think so, somewhere. Yes, no. Well, it's here somewhere. Once again, super organized. Hey, Kathy Barrick's needlework. Finished. And I really loved stitching this. I wasn't thrilled with the way I did the thread, the needle and thread in the spool, but at this point I'm leaving it alone. I haven't put my initials on yet or the date, and I think I might add that before I fully finish this. I might redo the thread, but it looks okay. I mean, it does look like a sort of like a needle going through there, and a bit of thread. Maybe I will extend this thread to dangle down or something there. So that it goes loop-de-loop and then dangles down a little bit or something. I just wasn't sure about that. It looked too, you know what it is that bothers me? It's the way I did the stitches here. They don't look smooth like a thread, like they're going crookedy. So I may have to redo that so it looks more like just a single thread. Now that I look at that, I kind of see what it is I don't like about it. So that again was on 36 count. I think that was, I'll tell you what that was. I think I'll tell you. That was Picture This Plus Brash. What was the other one? Was that also Brash? No. Wrong. That was not Picture This Plus Brash. Hang on. So not only did Narrowgate send me her pattern, which is the one I had awarded her as the winner of the drawing, she also sent me Blackbird Designs Beyond My Heart, which I thought was such a pretty pattern. I'd never seen that before. I just love that. Loose Feathers pattern 32. Isn't that pretty? So I am just thrilled to have that. I could do that as like a little scissor fob. I could do that as a small. I just think that's so pretty. I don't know if this one's in print or not. I didn't look for a date. 2008. This may not be available, which I'm sorry if that's the case, but yeah, I'm not sure. Now, you know I love a good bag, a good project bag. And I had a very nice woman write to me and say, quite frankly, that she had a ton of fabric, quilting fabric, that she needed to use up. So she was going to try to make some project bags, and she wanted to send me one. So she did, and I think it's very nice. And I wanted to tell you about it in case you wanted to go have a look. It's called Totes by Teresa. And I think you find her on Facebook. And she's got a folder with photographs of different fabrics and combinations. And I think you can write to her and say, I like this fabric. Could you put, this, do you have some green fabric to put on the top or red or whatever? I've had mine folded because I had it in the car when I was taking with me. But I said, oh, I like that sunflower fabric. And she put a pretty green top and a little blue zipper. And it's very nicely padded and lined. And they seem like very nice bags. So if you feel like helping her out, I think she had some vet bills and she's trying to use up her fabric, make a little money. If you're not good at sewing and you would like some nice project bags, go have a look. Totes by Teresa. I'm always, happy to help somebody out. I understand about vet bills and I understand about a fabric stash. So I said, yes, send me a bag. I'd be happy to use it and show it. So good luck, Teresa. I hope it goes well for you. The other one I was going to show you, if I can find it. What is wrong with me today? Hang on. Is a project bag by Linda Jo, Pretty Southern. So, I sort of have this collection. I have a tote by Teresa. I have Made by Mama Joan. I've got Diddly Daddle Designs. I've got a whole, Rika. I've got a bunch of different people's bags. So I thought, well, I need to have one of Pretty Southern's bags. So I got this very pretty fabric one. It's got a vinyl front. Very nice zipper. Love it, love it. Only thing is, Linda Jo, are you a lefty? I never have paid attention to this or not because all my other bags zip that way and yours zips that way. So I didn't know if this is how you made all your bags or if I got a special one. But very pretty fabric. Very nicely made. Love it. And it's kind of fun that it's Pretty Southern and it's different because I think she's kind of fun and different. So there we go. It's a good representation of her, I think. things I've been working on, I took with me on our trip. Did I tell you I went to Ohio? We went out to Ohio to my cousin's house to dog sit, and it also gave us an excuse to visit my daughter, who's very happy and settled at college. That was all very positive and happy. But one day I snuck away and I got my little self to Keepsakes, which was thrilling. It was funny because I had been chatting to Barb and Leanne from, excuse me, Lost and Floss before I went, and Barb and Leanne were like, "Woo, goody, buy all the things," and I fully intended to do that. And I got out there and I was so, it was about a 2-hour drive by the time I had made a couple stops along the way and everything. And I got there at like almost 12 o'clock, and I knew I had to leave at 3 because the traffic getting back to Columbus is just a nightmare. And what I should have done is I should have stayed till 5 when they closed and then gone and gotten some dinner and then headed back. That would have made more sense, but I knew I had left my husband alone in Columbus with no car and, I don't know, the 2 dogs, and I thought, oh, that's not really fair. I felt like I should sort of skedaddle back. So I only ended up staying till about 3, which meant very little stitching, very little shopping, and lots of chatting. And I've watched most of Pam and Steph's video that they just posted, and they're just keep stitching. And Pam was saying there are times where you couldn't even hear yourself because we were all just talking. Jan Calvert was there, who's the wonderful finisher for Keepsakes. Pam and Stephanie were there. My friend Melissa was there. My friend Sonia was there, and new friends that I got to meet that I had never met before. So it was really fun to be able to chat to all of them, and I wish I could have stayed longer. I would so love to have that shop nearby and like every Friday just go and sit and stitch, because it's just so much fun. It's such camaraderie to be with people who love what you're doing and love what they're doing, and you all exchanging ideas, and it's just a really, I think it was Melissa said it was her happy place. Like if she can get away on a Friday and sit there and stitch, it just makes her really happy, and that's the way it felt. And it's a shame everybody doesn't have a community like that, or especially in a cross-stitch shop. I mean, there's just inspiration everywhere. And I will insert some pictures and kind of talk you through them, I think, because I ended up taking pictures of odd things this time. I didn't do like a tour of every room or anything like that. I just, as I was walking through, just a couple of things that caught my eye, and I was mostly looking at finishing and how you can be so creative with your finishing. Like I think in one picture, they've got, instead of finishing around into a tart pan, which is really cute, and I've seen done, or on the top of a candlestick, they had it in an old vase, and it looked adorable. And I thought, well, that's really cute. And I saw some other things that had been finished with some wool around them. There was something finished into the shape of an acorn. I also took a picture of a pattern I bought the last time I was out there. It's a Brenda Gervais pattern, and I took 2 pictures because side by side, hanging in the downstairs entryway to Keepsakes, is this same pattern done on 2 different fabrics, 2 different sizes, 2 different frames. Looks very different, and I thought, isn't that fascinating to see them side by side, and to see how using a different fabric or stitching it a different size or framing it differently really can change the feeling of a piece. So I'll put those in as well, plus a couple fun ones. But thank you to everybody who was there. I had such a fun time. I bought 1 skein of floss, and I've got a very cute picture of Stephanie, because I was saying, oh, Stephanie, I was supposed to buy all the things, and I'm only getting this 1 skein of floss. Boo-hoo, poor me, pity me. And she said, but it's your first belle soie, and you bought it here. I was like, yes. So I bought this belle soie to stitch on my Brenda Gervais, which I'll show you. this pattern, which is called, what is this called? I call them Big Ol' Head because somebody had written to me and said, oh, I said I was going to work on this pattern. They said, just watch out for that big old head. But it is all bundled up. Where's the front picture? Here it is. All bundled up, Brenda Gervais. There's the big old head. I am doing this on 36 count winter brew 1/1 with the called for colors except for the cardinal. Because we got up to the cardinal and it's supposed to be, I think it was magnolia. No, it was mulberry. Gentle Arts mulberry. And I had a tiny bit left on a skein, which is so old because I can tell by the price how old it is. Let's see if I can find it here for you. Well, here's the new one, newer one. La 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 la. Intermission. Okay. Here's what I had left of my oldest skein of mulberry, and the price on this, for reference, was $1.95. And that's quite a good cardinal color. It's red with some lights and darks in it. I thought that's good, but I only had this much, and I wasn't sure how much I would need. So I looked, and here is a newer skein of floss, mulberry, $2.40. You can tell. And look at the colors there. I don't know if you can see it. It's coming up quite red on the screen, but is really brown. If you could see this in person, the light, maybe that's more like what it looks like. It looks very brown and just not cardinally to me. Well, trust me, you're gonna have to trust me on this. The lighting's not showing it properly. But I was having Stephanie look at it with me, and she's like, too brown, and she agreed with me. So I went upstairs, and Sonia helped me pull a bunch of different colors and going back and forth, and the one we liked the best was Classic Colorworks Belle Soie Cranberry. And it's got light and dark in it, and it is so soft. It's really soft. It's delightful to stitch with. I was really afraid to try stitching with a silk, especially Belle Soie, because I'd heard that was really nice. Oh boy, it is really nice, especially on this fabric. I don't know, this winter brew that I'm using, it's a Zweigert base, but I don't know what it's a 36 count, so I should know what that is, but I don't. Is it Edinburgh? Might be Edinburgh linen. But with the Belle Soie and that, it's just, it's like Stephanie would say, through butter. So here's what I've done. I'm quite pleased with this because I was afraid of the big old head, but he's going quite well. So my husband is into watching a lot of tennis at the moment, so this is a great one to do while I'm watching tennis because I'm, really just stitching along here. I've done the outline so I can fill in. I'm doing a lot of white now. I have a tiny bit more to fill in on his scarf. I got to fill in his head and give him another cheek over here. Fill in his hat, finish the cardinal, and then there's a big vine that comes out and curls around. But it's going a lot faster than I thought. So I'm very pleased with him. Now the color of the cheek is this Old Marigold Classic Colorworks, which is an interesting mix. And I could have just picked the real fleshy looking color. And I kind of tried to pick a piece that had mostly the flesh color, but I see when I hold this up that the bottom of his cheek got a little bit orangey. So I'm not sure if I'm going to leave that or pull it out and make it all sort of that color. He's got another, it's a blush spot, little rouge of his cheek. So I may, I'm not sure how that changes to orange there. I may kind of redo that part. And I wasn't sure about how the orange carroty part of his nose came out. Darker at the base. Like maybe if I'd been more clever, I could have made it go dark along the bottom, like the shadow of his nose. But I'm quite happy with it as it is. I don't know. We'll see. see how ambitious I get to alter things. So the only color I have changed is that cranberry. And I'm very pleased with that. I love stitching with that. It is a slippery slope, I'll tell you, because having experienced what that feels like to stitch with that, it is very nice. Very, very nice. So that's one thing I'm working on. It was funny, when I was in Columbus, I was in a sewing mood. So I stitched on this one I already showed you, and I've now found the pattern I can show you. The Kathy Barrick needlework. So that I got done, and then I felt like stitching on my Rebecca Smith that I had started in the class, so I did a little more on this. I tacked down the bird a bit more and started doing the wing. So that's just buttonhole stitch, and then at the end there's another bird over here, and there's more decorative vine, and then it just gets decorative stitches on the top, but not tons. So that's fun, and it's really nice to have something different like that. You don't have to count, and I feel like I'm getting back in the swing of that. Like at the class, I was so nervous and excited, and I hadn't stitched just freehand for a long time, and I feel like my buttonhole stitches were a mess. But my husband looked at it and he goes, I can't tell, and it's supposed to be handmade. It's not machine made, it's made by hand, so I don't mind that they look a little uneven. So then I relaxed about it, and I think as soon as you relax, you do better work. So they're a little wonky, but they're not too bad. So I really enjoyed stitching that, and I love that it's on this really sort of rough linen base. That just is yummy to me. And the other thing I felt like stitching, I felt like using my sewing machine, and believe it or not, I lugged one of my sewing machines out to Ohio and set it up and used it, and had a lot of fun. I belong to the Simple Whatnots Club. It's through Fat Quarter Shop, but it's Kim Deal is the designer, and she puts together these little mini quilts that come in monthly mailing. So I think it's 8 months, and this is the first one from this past year. It's the 8th Simple Whatnots Miniature Club, and this pattern is called Apple Baskets. So I finished that. I just have to what still remains on this? I think I just have to put the batting in, put the backing on, and bind it. So that's fun. I love having these little mats to just kind of put down on a table and then do little decorative things around, or put on the back of a chair, or hang on the wall. So that was really fun. I hadn't quilted for ages, and if I look at this closely, some of my points are not the best, I will say, but I'm happy with it. I like the colors. I think that's fine. Especially when I quilt it, it will all come out in the quilting. I can fudge things and play with it then, I think. That's my plan anyway. What else? I will do another giveaway because I have this whole big envelope full of duplicate patterns, for one thing. I did not work a whole lot on my sampler September, I'll tell you. I didn't make any more progress. But what I did think about was do you guys remember Stitch 9? What was the official title? The Stitch 9 Challenge or something? I realized Big Ol' Head is one of my Stitch 9 challenges. And so if I can finish him, and I can do this other one, which I took with me but I didn't work on. Well, these are my plans, really. Plum pudding was also part of my Stitch 9 challenge. And I think I worked on it in Mania a little bit, but I only have this much started. One little mouse tail and the border, pretty much. So if I can get those two done, then I've only got 2 more for the Stitch 9 challenge. One of which I'm not sure I'm going to get done, which was a Santa Claus on the Kaniki fabric, the special hand-dyed fabric. For some reason, I'm just fearful of starting that one. I don't know what my problem is. But other one, who was I watching? Oh, you know what it was? It was when Pam and Steph went on their trip to Wisconsin, and they went to Spring Green Country Sampler Store. I'm afraid I may have ordered a couple little things, which arrived, and as they said, it comes beautifully packaged. You know, inside your package was this pretty tissue and ribbon. Well, here, I'll show you what I got. I already owned this pattern, but I thought, I could never decide if I wanted to do the straight up version or the prim conversion. So I thought I will order for them. They give you the pattern and the prim conversion, so I can give my pattern, the one that I already owned, away. Because I actually like it both colorways. I like this colorway, and I also like the prim conversion. So I might do one for myself and one for my sister for Christmas or something like that. But anyway, I got that because I thought, well, you know, they came up with the conversion. I might as well get it from them. And then it was funny because there was a pattern when Stephanie was doing her little tour and taking us around the shop. I saw something on a shelf and I was like, oh, what is that? I love that pattern. And I went on this huge, I paused the video, I went on this huge hunt looking for the pattern. When I finally found it, I was really pleased. And then later in the video, Stephanie talks about it. She bought it. She tells you exactly what it is. I'm like, oh, gosh. Anyway, it's Not Forgotten Farm Winter Fox, which I think is darling. And they had done a conversion for that too. I just love that. So I got those 2 patterns, and then I couldn't resist. There was one more I got. Pennsylvania Fractor, Kathy Barrick, to add to my Fractor collection. This is supposed to be the year of the Fractor, so I am really going to do that soon. I really am. So if I can do the horse, what was the name of that? Horse Country or Horse Country Holiday by Artful Offerings. If I can get this done and the big old head, I will have done 8 of my Stitch 9 challenge. However, I will insert a picture of my Stitch 9 challenge patterns, which I had put on Instagram. You will see that one of them is pumpkins, and I actually did both of those pumpkins, so in effect, I will have done 9. So even if I don't get the Santa Claus, the Kaniki Santa Claus stitched this year, I will have done 9 from the Stitch 9 challenge. It's a little bit of a stretch, a little bit of a cheat, but I think I could convince a professor to accept that and give me a good grade. I think I could convince my professor that it was okay. I don't know who I'm appointing as the professor. I think it's Brenda Sampler Stitcher and her pal who are the new rule setters for cross stitch. So maybe I'll have to apply to them and see if they give me permission to go forward with this plan. But that's my plan for that. I think I'm going to finish Big Ol' Head. Do I have anything else in this bag that I'm working on? What's this? And that's the mice. No, I think that's good. Oh, I wanted to show you one other stitchy kindness. When I was at Keepsakes, my friend Melissa brought me this magazine. And the reason she brought it is I was chatting to her at StitchCon. I was saying, you know, I've got to get rid of a lot of my quilting magazines. I have too many. I'm going to keep all the country, and what are they called? Quilt Sampler, where they visit different quilt shops. I love those because they often show you a lot of quilts and a lot of shops. And if the shops can still be in existence, then you can plan a travel trip. Talk often? You could plan a trip and include some of those shops in your travels. Well, a lot of the shops have closed. I mean, some of the magazines I have date way back, and as we know, they come and go, these quilt and craft shops. But I like to keep them anyway. I just think they're eye candy. And the other ones I pretty much am going through, and just if there's a pattern that still really speaks to me, I'll tear the pattern out and get rid of the magazine, or I might donate them to somewhere. I did take a bunch of them to StitchCon, and people seem to like them, so maybe I'll just save them and take them to StitchCon. But anyway, because I think I talked about this in an early video, you can now get them all on a jump drive, which I haven't tried it, but I'm tempted to do that. But what I don't get rid of are the ones all in the regular magazine that interview designers, because I have this fascination with designers and the creative process and interviews with designers and things like that. So like if they interview Sue Spargo and they show you her home, or they interview Pat Sloan, or, you know, any of the other Joanna Figueroa Fig Tree Quilts, or Amy Butler, you know, fabric designers and quilt designers and people like that, I always save those because I love seeing the artist in their home creative environment. I love seeing artist studios and sewing studios. So I always say that. And when we were in StitchCon, my friend Melissa showed me this. It's an old cross stitch and country crafts magazine. It is July and August of '93, and in it is an interview with Sue Hillis, who happened to come into Keepsakes while I was there, and I got her to sign my magazine. So I have a signed picture of Sue Hillis and a design of hers from 1993. So that's really fun. She said, hang on to it when it's worth $1 million, you know, that'll be fun. I'm just thrilled that I've had the fortune to meet her a couple times. She's a hoot, and I love her patterns and designs and things. And that was very kind of Melissa to give me that magazine. So Melissa, if it's worth $1 million, I'll share it with you. How about that? Anyway, just, you know, stitching is so much fun, and the community is so much fun, and getting to know people is so much fun, and life is good, isn't it? So, giveaway. I said who won last week. I have a new something to give away. What will it be? Let me see. This is I have a big envelope marked duplicates. But I have to find them. Here they are. Duplicates for giveaway. I will reach in and see what shall I pull out. Something appropriate for the season. So I think it will be this. How about Autumn's Bouquet by Brenda Gervais? It happens to rhyme. Autumn's Bouquet by Brenda Gervais. Unless you are like Saltbuck Stitcher and have a morbid fear of squirrels. I think this is a pretty cute design. And I don't know if you remember, I bought this when I went to Findlay, Ohio, to that wonderful shop there. I'll have to insert the name because I can't remember what it was called. Wait a minute, maybe I can find it right here. Craft Gallery. The Craft Gallery, Findlay, Ohio. And I saw this and I snapped it up, and then I got home and I'm like, that's why I loved it so much, because I've bought it twice. So, if you would like Autumn's Bouquet, what shall we have you say? Just tell me something about autumn that you like, or use the word autumn in a sentence. Don't say giveaway, don't say prize, don't say winning. Be 18 years or older, be a subscriber, like the videos. Those are just niceties for me. You don't have to do that, but it's nice. What else? That sounds good. Something about autumn, something you like about autumn, and try and use the word autumn in your sentence. And I will pick a winner for next time. So, my plans going forward are to work on the Stitch 9 challenge things, which are big ol' head, all bundled up, aka all bundled up. The mice. Did I tell you what the mice are officially called? They're officially called plum pudding. Plum pudding. Brenda Gervais. I will finish. No, I'm not going to finish, but I will work on Hawk Run Hollow Farm. Try and get another square finished. And who knows what else I'll start. I haven't pulled a flash from the stash from the past for a while, so I should do that soon. Maybe I'll start my locks and keys since I now have found fabric and pattern and I know where the floss is. So that might be next. We'll see. Just be a little surprise for you. But this is going to be quite a quickie one, I think. I'll insert some pictures from Keepsakes, as I said, from my trip. Don't have any trips planned for a while. I'm going to be working a bit. My friend who owns the little shop, jewelry shop that I help out in, is going away, so I will be holding down the fort there. Which, if we're busy, I won't get much stitching done. If we're not busy, I might get a little stitching done. As long as I've done all my other duties while I'm there, I can stitch a little. There's usually like postings to make on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. The name of her shop is Artisan's Nest in Skippack, Pennsylvania, if you want to go look at her website. It's a beautiful little shop. It's very small, but it's got all kinds of wonderful goodies in there. And I love helping her out. She's a very dear friend. So I will be there next week for a bunch of days. And then the following week, we have guests coming from the UK. Great friends of my husband's when he was a little boy in Kenya. He was at boarding school with this chap. And then when we were at university in Scotland, I met him and his then girlfriend, who is now his wife, and have not seen them since they were like sophomores at university. So it's been a long time. And excited that they're coming to visit. And so I will be busy with them, but I will be doing stitching in between and hopefully visiting with you all in between. And I hope everybody is enjoying this lovely weather. I hope you're getting lovely weather. I hope everybody's been well and having fun and get lots of stitching done. And until then, until next time, I wish you all good things. Bye.